What is going on, guys? Fitcho here, and welcome back to the Fitcho Careers, episode number 9, round 5, race 1. And we're here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg for today's feature race. Now, if you haven't already seen last round out in Baku, both the feature race and the sprint race were absolutely crazy, so make sure you go and check them out if you haven't seen them already. If I remember, I will put a card in the top right hand corner of the screen for that one. And I've also got a bit of an announcement. I've finally got around to uploading this mod to Race Department, so if you want to play on this mod yourself, you can go to Race Department. I will leave the link to the mod in the description. You can download it and play it for yourself if you are on PC. There is one change I've made from the version I use for this series, and that's pretty much I've subbed myself out for Philo Paz Armand, but other than that, it's pretty much exactly the same mod as I use for all these videos. So if you want to go and play on this mod yourself, you can now. It's up on Race Department. The link to that will be in the description. But anyway, we're here in Austria for the feature race today. Honestly, like always, I have no idea where my pace is going to be. It's always going to be close. A couple tens could drop me from pole to outside the top 10. So I guess we're going to find out where our pace truly does lie, and we're going to jump into one-shot qualifying here at the Red Bull Ring. Here we go, one-shot qualifying in Austria for today's feature race. We head up towards turn number 1, hard on the brakes, down to third gear, take a fair bit of curb, and careful not to run wide like I did a little bit, but it actually lost me time there as I lost the back end a bit. Got the car a bit sideways. Now we head up the long run to turn 2. Great overtaking opportunity as we're hard onto the brakes, the slowest corner on the track. A second gear, pretty much a hairpin, as now Sergei Sorokin is leading as we head onto the first of the DRS straights down towards turn number 3. Another great overtaking opportunity here in Austria, and down hard onto the brakes. We've actually gone a little bit deep, missed the apex. I think we had a little bit of a lockup as we come out of turn 3. Sergei Sorokin is still leading as we head up to turn number 5. The first of the two left-handers on this track as we get through there nicely. Use a bit of exit curve, careful of the grass, and back down to fourth gear for the second of the left-handers. And now back right as we head down to the final two corners. Charles Leclerc is leading as we come up to the penultimate corner as we miss the apex to that. As Delatraz now takes lead through the final corner. You can really attack this corner. We've actually lost the back end through the final corner up to the line. We cross the line in 17th place, and Louis Delatraz takes pole. So Louis Delatraz has taken pole in Austria from Charles Leclerc. Only a quarter of a tenth of a second between them, with Sergei Sorokin 3rd and Gustav Mahler 4th. We have to scroll down to the second half of the field to find ourselves on the grid, down in 17th place among the Carlins and the Ardens and our teammate. Not the best qualifying in the session for us, as it was a pretty scrappy lap, to be honest. We didn't get turn 1 right, we didn't get turn 3 right. We didn't get the final two corners right, with a big moment on the exit of the final corner, just almost spinning the car into a wall. Lost us heaps of times, but in the end we're only 6/10 off pole, even with a very scrappy lap. So I reckon, there was a few tenths definitely in those mistakes. So I reckon with a clean lap we could have been up around 10th with Raffaele Marcello, some of our championship rivals. So I'm not too displeased with that qualifying session. There's great overtaking opportunities around this track, so we can definitely fight through the field, I think, and try and get up the field, possibly into a points. It's going to be pushing it if we can actually get into the points in today's race. So I guess we'll find out. It's time for the feature race here in Austria. Well, hasn't the weather turned around since qualifying? This morning, it was no clouds in sight, the sun was out, beautiful conditions for racing, and then come this afternoon, the weather has turned around 180 degrees and it is bucketing down with rain. Classic Austria, honestly. Let's have a look at the race strategy. It looks like it's going to stay wet for the entire race, so we're just going to be going for probably a one-stop on the wet tyres, going to another set of the wet tyres all the way to the end of this race. Doesn't look like there's any chance of it actually drying up today. Here we go, engage the clutch, get the revs up to the optimal range, the lights are coming on. That's lights out, and away we go. The feature race here in Austria is underway in some very treacherous conditions as we short shift up through the gears to try and minimize that wheel spin as much as we can to go up into turn number 1. Very carefully trying to figure out what all the other cars are doing. He's going to go around the outside of Nicholas Latifi. Can we try and get around the outside to freeze? No, we can't. He's had to lift out of the throttle, but Nicholas Latifi has snuck up his inside. He's now going to the outside of Seta Kamara, and there's been a crash. There's been a crash between Latifi and Seta Kamara. Now we've got yellow flags, so we can't go up the inside of Nick De Vries, but you could just see that happening with Latifi just pulling in and out of the traffic, causing a big pile up back there. He seems to have actually survived. Both cars seem to be running somehow, despite having a big collision into the wall at over 200k an hour. But regardless, the safety car is out, and we're up 2 positions from our starting place, so that is okay. It's been a real right start. We now find ourselves right behind the Rapax of Nick De Vries. In front of him is the 2 Camposes of Jordan King, and more importantly, our championship rival at this stage, Raffaele Marcello. Here we go, the safety car is coming in this lap. We'll catch up to Nick De Vries, ready for the restart. We're actually going to go up into rich rev, something you don't really do in the full wet conditions. We are going to do it for this safety car restart. Try and get past the young... Oh my god, I can't even catch up to him. I'm getting hit by masses of understeer. We're already going. I haven't properly caught up to him, and the green flag is already flying. This has to be one of the worst restarts from our point of view as we head down into the penultimate corner, and you're going to see how difficult these conditions are. I need to spend a lap or two just getting a feel for it, as the purple lap is just tumbling and tumbling. And De Vries gets it, I get it, Sorellis is getting it. Everyone's having to go, having the purple lap here. Come on, we've got a decent exit off turn 2, right on the back of Nick De Vries. Can we pull up the inside down into turn number 3, try and get the car stopped up the inside, and we make that move up into 14th place. We've now got Jordan King just in front of us in his Campos. We're right on the back of Jordan King. Can we try something up into turn 1? Not quite close enough to go for the dive bomb. Not quite confident enough to go for the dive bomb either in these conditions. But could we try something up to turn 2? We've got a bit of a run on Jordan King. We'll pull to the inside, and up the inside we will go on Jordan King, as there seems to be a bit of a train in front of us. Something has happened towards the front of the field, and everyone is slowing down massively. I'm not too sure what's happened, but somewhere in the middle of that big train in front, someone has slowed down, and the whole train has slowed down massively. It looks like one of the cars, possibly a Rapax, is at Giotto, going quite slowly up ahead. We seem to have got better traction off turn 2 than Raffaele Marcello. Can we launch a move out the inside turn 3 on our championship rival? I think we can. Careful not to go into the back of Artem Marklov, and we make that move stick. We've actually got a bit of a run on Marklov. Better traction off turn 3 at the inside of 4, and we've got that move done, and we're now 1 place outside the points. We've got Alexander Albin up in front of us, but as I say that, we understeer wide, and Marklov sticks his nose back up our inside, but he cannot make that move stick, and we hold on to 11th place for now. We seem to have got better drive off turn 2 yet again, this time on Alexander Albin. I think we're going to try something up the inside of turn 3. Oh, we've locked up a little bit, just to avoid the rear of Luca Giotto's Rapax. We make that move stick, and we've actually got better traction than Giotto, but we're not going to try something up the inside of turn 5. That is very risky, and I just want to keep this car in one piece for now. We have good pace, no need to try anything too risky at this stage. As you can see, we're actually purple yet again. Better traction off the final corner on Luca Giotto, and we take the purple lap as we move up the inside of Giotto into turn 1. We're going to stick our nose up the inside and take that 9th position from the Rapax driver. We're now just doubled our points, up to 2 points now. And I think our main championship rival at this stage, Raffaele Marcello, we passed him earlier. He's not in the points at this stage, so we will be extending our championship lead at this stage unless someone else passes Marcello in the championship, that is. Right on the back of Ollie Rowland as he went very slowly through the middle of the corner and then just jumped out of our way. So that is us now up into 8th place. So we've got Norman Nato up in front and one of the Primas battling it out. We're going to try and catch up to that duo. Oh, Nato and Fuoco are going side by side, and they're really slowing each other up. And we're going to take advantage of this, go right around the outside of Norman Nato and take 7th place, assuming we don't understeer through turn 5, which is exactly what we've done. And we've just gifted the place back to the Frenchman. We're right on the back of Norman Nato. Can we try something up into turn 1? It's going to be risky, and I think it's safer just to wait behind and try something up to turn 2. It's a lot easier to get alongside up into turn 2, and it's a heavier braking zone, easier to outbrake them. So here we go, up into turn 2. Can we try something on Norman Nato? No, we can't. We're actually not going to go for that move. Maybe down. Oh, what an exit out of turn 2. Right up the inside of Nato, when we take 6th place. And now we're on the back of Fuoco, and we're going to pull to his inside as we head down towards turn number 3, assuming we get the car stopped. And we are now up in 5th place. What a sequence of corners there, making 2 moves. One on the exit and one into the braking zone of the very next corner. Now up into 5th place, we're going to go and hunt down Charles Leclerc up ahead, who is in 4th place. Here we go, end of lap 18. We're coming in to the pits for another set of wet tyres. It's pretty much exactly the halfway point of this race. We do 18 laps on one set of wets and 18 laps on another set of wet tyres, because it's not going to dry out for today's race. And it looks like the race leader, Louis Delatraz, has pulled into the pit lane. Same with, I think he was running 3rd place, Antonio Giovinazzi just in front of us. We had just caught up to the back of Charles Leclerc, and it doesn't look like he is actually pitted. I think his teammate may have been Fuoco. We sort of left them to dead. We sort of have pretty good pace here in these wet conditions. We've been picking through the field. We've just come out ahead, or side by side I should say, with Felix Sorrellas in the columns. We head up towards turn number 2, and it looks like we've got, is that Sergei Sorokin, who's just mugged us off right around the outside while we're still getting these new tyres up to temperature. We'll get much better grip out of turn 2 on Sergei Sorokin, and we move back up to 9th place. We've got Sorrellas, actually the Carlin is running in the points, but I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way, unfortunately, for them. But if they do, it'll be their first points of the season as we make a little bit of contact, and we don't damage our front wing, and we just sneak past, as he was going extraordinarily slowly through that corner. As you can see, that has hurt us quite badly, because that was the pack we were just on the back of before the pit stops, and you can see that was really the outlap from hell, getting stuck behind the Carlin and Sergei Sorokin, even though we were just behind Sorokin momentarily, but still not the outlap that we wanted. You can see how much ground we've actually lost, but I think we should be able to catch it up by the end of the race with the pace we had, but passing them is another matter. Emil Bernstorff is out of the race. Is that going to trigger a safety car? No, it doesn't look like it is. It looks like it's happened up. Yes, it is going to cause a safety car. Apologies, it does cause a safety car. We've got to reduce our pace. The second safety car of this race. I'm not too sure what happened to Bernstorff, but when I looked at the minimap, it looks like he's had a crash up at turn number 2. And this safety car is actually going to work into our favor, because we're going to be able to catch up to the pack in front of us. And there is the safety car. We're going to have to pass it. It's definitely got the green lights. I'm not seeing things like Jamie Whincup. But as I was saying, this is really going to help us out, because now we don't actually have to catch up. Well, there's Bernstorff off on the side of the track. He seems to have all his wheels intact, so maybe it might have been a mechanical failure. Not too sure. I will make sure I find that in the replay cameras. But anyway, what I've been trying to say for the last couple corners is that this is going to help us out. We no longer have to try and catch up to the pack in front. We will now be right on the back of the 4 in front of us as we're in 5th place. It'll catch us right up, and there should be a good battle, because I think that so far there's been a battle between the 2 racing engineering, so that's Louis Delatraz and Gustav Malya, Antonio Giovinazzi, and then Charles Leclerc. There's been a 4-way battle for the lead most of this race, so we're now going to catch right up to the back of that with this safety car. Then we only have to go about getting past them if we want this race win. We don't have to, we've got more laps to pass, try and pass them. We don't have to try and catch them up. That's what I'm trying to say. Here we go, safety car is in this lap, the end of lap 23, and we are sat in 5th place on the gearbox of Gustav Malya's Racing Engineering car. In front of him is Charles Leclerc, the last place on the podium, then Antonio Giovinazzi is second, with Louis Delatraz leading. We've got Norman Nato and Fuoco just behind us. We're about to go racing any second now. We're past the first safety car line. Here we go. We're about to get the green flag any second now. Here we go. And we are racing again here in Austria in this very wet feature race. And we're right on the back of Gustav Malya. Can we look for a move out the inside of turn number 1? I think is a little bit risky into turn 1, but maybe if we get a good exit, could give us a chance up into turn 2 or even turn 3. As we head up towards turn number 2, still I think we're a bit too far back to attack Gustav Malya. As we head into the second corner, as we lock up a little bit, can we try and get a better exit off this very slow corner? We get a lot of wheel spin, but we're still running side by side with Gustav Malya. We've got the inside line as we head down towards turn number 3. We're going to go late on the brakes, lock up a little bit, get the car stopped, and we make that move stick for 4th place. We're now right on the back of Charles Leclerc as we have a better exit off turn 3, but we're on the outside for turn number 5. Can we go right around the outside of Charles Leclerc? I think we can. He's still got the inside line for 6. We're still going to go right around the outside. We've now got the inside line. Oh, we're getting on the curb. We're getting all out of shape, and he's got us back, and so is Gustav Malya. That was very close. We're back down into 5th place after sitting in 3rd place almost. We're going side by side with Leclerc. A little bit too much curve, which you don't want to do in these very treacherous conditions. Just lost the back end. Allowed Leclerc and Malya back through, but can we try something again this lap into turn number 1? Turn number 1 is not really the greatest place without the aid of DRS. So can we possibly try something up into turn 2? We get a decent enough exit off turn 1. We're right on the back of Gustav Malya, who got the slipstream, but he's got the slipstream on Charles Leclerc, and he's going for the move. We're going to be very careful on the brakes as they're going side by side in front of us. A little bit of contact between the two. We're going to sneak up the inside of Gustav Malya on the exit, and we get that move done for 4th place. Giovinazzi and Delatraz going side by side up ahead, and now we're going side by side with Charles Leclerc over the last place on the podium, but he has got the inside line. He brakes a little bit later than us, but he's come right across on us. And now we've got front wing damage. We've tapped Malya as he's just driven into our side pod. He's had nowhere to go, but I'm not sure what Charles Leclerc was doing. He just moved across very slowly through that turn 3, and he damaged our front wing, and that is really going to hurt us. And we've actually spun Gustav Malya in the process. I'm not too sure what exactly happened there, but I thought I was on the outside. I was going to go around the outside, and then Leclerc just washed wide straight into me, and I just had nowhere to go. Damaged my front wing. Despite the front wing damage, we've managed to go purple on this particular lap. We are starting to catch up to Charles Leclerc and Giovinazzi, who I believe is having some sort of car issues, and this has left Louis Delatraz to scamper off into the lead, and he looks set to take his first victory in GP2 as Charles Leclerc is going up the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi into turn 2. We're going to get Giovinazzi in the process, get a better exit. We're going to get the pair of them. We get past Giovinazzi and Charles Leclerc up into 2nd place in one move. A brilliant move there. Even with the front wing damage, we're still faster than a lot of these other cars. And we're now into 2nd place. We're going to try and chase down Louis Delatraz. Whoa, 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 whoa. We've just been dive bombed right around the outside by Charles Leclerc. I did not see that coming one bit. I was a bit earlier on the brakes than I should have been because I forgot that the brake marker board's been taken out from that first lap crash. But he's gone straight up our outside into turn 2. What a brilliant move from Charles Leclerc. But we're going to try and get back up his inside on the exit of turn 3, and we make that move stick as we take back 2nd place. Oh, he's going to our outside as we head down into the penultimate corner. This is not an overtaking opportunity, and I've understeered wide and just shut the door in his face. I didn't mean to understeer like I did, but I've got a bit of damage from my front wing, and I had no front grip and couldn't do anything about that. But there was no contact, and we hold on to 2nd place for now. Oh, we've got a double lock up into turn 2. Not the place you want to lock up, and we are way off as Giovinazzi is now out of the race. I'm not too sure what's happened to him, as there seems to be a big crash on that on the straight after turn 2. I'm forgetting how to speak for a moment. Just give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. There was an incident by the looks of things going up the straight towards turn 2. There was another car involved. That's what I'm trying to say, as we've actually dropped down to 5th place after our double lockup into turn number 2. Yep, there is all the debris from... Oh, no, we've locked up again. No, we've got the car stopped. I was trying to say, there's the debris from that crash I was talking about last lap, which has taken Antonio Giovinazzi out of this race with a little bit of debris on the track, you can see. Oh, no, we've locked up again. We've done it again. It's the second time. Oh, try and squeeze back onto the track as quickly as we can. Try not to lose too many positions. That was a very questionable re-entry to the track. We've only lost 1 place to Alexander Albon. That was a little bit nerve-wracking, locking the brakes. Going into turn 2, at least there's a big runoff area. It's not like gravel here at turn 3. So it definitely could have gone a lot worse, as we're now right on the back of Alexander Albon. We've got 2 and a little bit laps to go. Can we try to get past the ART driver? Yes, we can, up the inside of turn 6, I think that is. And we get the move done. Very aggressive and as forceful as we're fighting the car on the exit. But we get the move done, and they have fallen way back. Oh, the car's gone. The car's gone. The car's gone. Come on. Oh, we've lost our front wing. No, this is not good. Oh, I almost lost the back end into them. It's okay. We're still going. Oh, Roland's going very slowly. No, we've made contact with Oliver Roland. We're taking Sorokin out. Oh, God, what was Roland doing? He's going so slowly. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Absolute clusterfuck at the end, but Sorokin and Roland have spun. I've got no front wing. I'm now out of the points as we start the final lap here in Austria. I'm going to try and survive 1 lap without a front wing. This is going to be interesting in these conditions. Oh, there's yellow flags up ahead. Sorellis is out of the race, and Louis Delatraz wins here in Austria. And you can just see, there is Sorellis over on the right-hand side of the track. It looks like a mechanical failure for him, but you can just see how much understeer we have in this car without a front wing in these ridiculously wet conditions. Looks like we're going to come home for 13th place, assuming we keep this car on the track through the penultimate corner and then the final corner. Come on, turn in, you bitch. There we go. Through the final corner, a little bit of a slide on the exit and up to the line to finish 13th place in Austria. It was all going so well, and then just a series of mistakes just fucked it all, really. So there we go, Louis Delatraz has won his first race in GP2 in today's crazy feature race in an absolutely soaked Red Bull Ring in Austria. Joining him on the podium was Charles Leclerc and Norman Nato. Just off the podium was Antonio Fuoco, Alexander Albon, Luca Giotto, Raffaele Marcello, our championship rival, down in 7th place. Now, he would have scored 6 points, and Nato will have scored 15 points, so I think that might have been enough for Nato to actually jump Marcello for 2nd place in the championship. Then in 8th place is Nobuharu Matsushita in the Carlin. So Carlin have finally scored points, getting 4 points in today's race. Sergio Sete Camara is 9th, and Igor Ruchev has finished 10th. So Arden have also scored points in today's race. So now every team has scored some points in this championship. Just outside the points was Nick de Vries, and Nicholas Latifi finished just in front of us despite having that big crash on the opening lap of the race. That's us in 13th place, just ahead of Sergei Sorokin in 14th. In 15th place was Jordan King, and Gustav Malia dropped down to 16th place. Sean Goliath, our teammate, was actually up in 17th with Oliver Roland down in 18th, Artem Marklov 19th, the last of the finishers, and of course Felix Sorellas, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Emil Bernstorff did not finish today's feature race. So after the crazy feature race today in Austria, I retained my lead in the championship. However, my advantage has been cut down significantly from 18 points to only 7, and the person chasing me, or closest to me, in 2nd place is actually swapped from Raffaele Marcello to Norman Nato. In 3rd place is Raffaele Marcello, who's 5 points off Norman Nato. In 4th place is Oliver Roland, who's 1 point in front of Antonio Giovinazzi, who's been making a bit of a surge recently. However, he did have a DNF in today's race, but he was on good form for most of the race until he had some car issues, so maybe he'll have a good race tomorrow in the sprint race, might be able to jump Oliver Rowland, and a little ways back you got Luca Giotto in 6th, then come the two Prima boys with Antonio Fuoco just ahead of Charles Leclerc, and Charles Leclerc is only 1 point ahead of Sergei Sorokin in 9th place, he's only 2 points ahead of Jordan King in 10th place, and that rounds out the top 10, and Louis Delatraz has actually jumped up to 11th place after getting 27 points in today's feature race, getting poled and the race win, and that's jumped up from about 7 points to 34, elevating him a long way up in the championship. In the Teams Championship, Campos still lead with 121 points. However, Prima are now second. Previously, I believe they were 5th, so they've made a big jump in today's race, and they are the second team to actually break into 3 digits with 100 points exactly. Only 4 points behind Prima in 3rd place is Dams, and then tied for 4th is Trident and Russian Time on 90 points apiece. In 6th place is MP Motorsport on 76 points. Only 5 points behind them is ART Grand Prix, and only a further 5 points behind ART is Rapax in 8th. In 9th place is Racing Engineering, who have really closed the gap to Rapax after Delatraz's impressive performance in today's feature race, up to 58 points. Only 8 points behind Rapax now. And in 10th place is Carlin, who have finally scored points, now have 4 points to their name. And Ardent still round out the field, but they do have a point to their name after Arudzev's 10th place in today's feature race. So that is all for today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this race. It was absolutely crazy. Crashes all over the place, drama all over the place. That race was absolutely mental. I really hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Fitcho, and I'll see you all next time.